Alright guys, what's up? So I'm in England today. It's a little bit breezy outside, so bear with me if there is any wind interference noise picking up on my speaker. I am sorry about that. I've not got anything to cover it with, but I'm just taking a little walk around the old neighbourhood of where I grew up just to kind of check it out. It's a really nice day today. So anyway, I got a message over my email from a guy in Spain who goes by the name of Julio. And Julio asked me, he said, can I get a job in Thailand teaching English as a non-native Spanish person? So the simple answer, Julio, is yes. Yes, you can. You can get work teaching English in Thailand as a non-native speaker. I did touch on this a bit in an earlier on video, so let me kind of go into it in a little bit more detail as far as I know. So non-native teachers can get work in Thailand in the same way as native teachers can get work in Thailand. However, a lot of the higher end schools and some of the better schools in the country, they do require non-native teachers to have a thing called a TOEIC test. A TOEIC test is like a test that proves English proficiency of non-natives, and apparently it is quite a difficult test, but I don't know because I am I am a native speaker of English, so I've never needed to do one of these TOEIC tests before. But a TOEIC test comes in, you get a score on it based on your English proficiency, and a lot of the better schools in Thailand, they will ask for a TOEIC test with a certain score on it, maybe 800, maybe 700, maybe 900, I don't know. So that's something to keep in mind if you are a non-native speaker who's thinking of coming to Thailand and teaching and working, is checking out a TOEIC test. However, some of the not so high-end schools in Thailand, they will take on a non-native teacher without a TOEIC test. They'll just pretty much take you on, especially if you're Western or if you're a European. So I asked Julio a little bit about himself. He says, yes, I am European, I am Spanish, I'm a white person. So yeah, he's not going to have any problems finding a job in that department, because the thing is, in Thailand, it is very much about your appearance as well as what you actually know. In some cases more so than what you actually know. It is based on your appearance and what you look like. So a lot of these places in Thailand are more likely to hire you based on the fact that you're white than actually on the fact of what you know. But you don't really want to go to a school like that only hires you based on appearance, because, you know, it's kind of a shitty school. So it does depend on what you want. If you want to be out in some bumfuck part of the country in some crappy ass school, then yeah, no problem at all. But otherwise, you're going to want to get this TOEIC test so you can get yourself into a better school. So I do have a lot of good friends who are non-native teachers in Thailand. Some of them whose proficiency is so high that they could easily pass off as native speakers, and they do. Particularly some of my friends from the Netherlands. They are teachers out there. They've been in Thailand for a good couple of years now, and they have the same salary as native speakers as well. So that's another question that Julio asked me. He said, I heard that non-native teachers get a lower salary than native teachers, and as much as I hate to say it, that is more kind of based on your race and like your appearance, more than actually like your nationality. So like a lot of my like my Dutch friends and a lot of my other non-native Western friends who are teachers, they have the same salary as what a native teacher has. But I also have some African friends and some Filipino friends who are on a much lower salary than white Westerners are. So realistically, from what I've seen, most Westerners are kind of lumped in as one, and they have one set salary, and then non-Westerners have their own different tier. So if you're a white person who's from Europe, you're probably going to get a similar salary to what a native teacher would get, regardless of the fact of whether you're native or non-native. So, however, from reading your email, and reading your messages, what you said to me, you do need to work on your English. You do need to work on that, because your English that you wrote to me is not necessarily the same standard that you should have for being an English teacher in Thailand. So do please work on your English, just because it's not fair on your students otherwise, you know. Your students are going to school, they're there to learn English, and they need someone who at least has a high grasp, if not fluency, in the language themselves. Because it's just not fair on the students if they're being taught English by somebody who's not who's not good at English themselves. Like, I mean, one of my old schools, we had some Filipino teachers in there, and they would get their grammar completely wrong. You know, they'd say to the students things like, oh, good morning everyone, keep your things. And I'm like, dude, what does that even mean? He meant to say, put your things away. So, good morning everyone, put your things away. But he said, oh, good morning everyone, keep your things. And I had to call him out on it, just because it's not fair on the students that they're learning English wrong. So for the sake of your students, just make sure that you have a good level of English before you try and come teaching out here. But yes, the short answer is yes, you can find work teaching English in Thailand. Sorry, I mentioned out here. I'm in England at the moment. I'm not in Thailand anymore. So yeah, for the context of this conversation, yes, you can find work in Thailand as a non-native. He also asked me a little bit about other parts of Southeast Asia, like Vietnam and Cambodia. So that, I'm afraid I can't help you on, because I've never taught or spent any period of time in those places. Now, I have one or two friends who have taught in Vietnam. They say that Vietnam, it has much easier visas than Thailand, so I'll make a video later on about how to get a teacher's visa in Thailand. But Vietnam, it's much easier to get a visa than Thailand is. And apparently they have higher salaries as well, but Vietnam also asks for some more experienced teachers. Whereas Julio said to me he doesn't have any experience of teaching. So a better starter place will be Thailand or Cambodia. Cambodia is a very good place for starters. Pretty much any Westerner or anybody can really get a job teaching English in Cambodia. Now, I don't have any experience on Cambodia or Vietnam, so I don't know for sure. So maybe anyone who has worked or spent some time in there could offer a little bit more insight than me. So I'm sorry that I can't be any more helpful in that department. But in Thailand, yes, you can find work, but you're definitely going to want to improve your English before you go out there. So anyway, any more questions that anybody has, feel free to hit me up. I'll try my best to answer you as much as I know. Otherwise, that's about it from me today. Peace out.